so excited about this episode today, you guys. Welcome to all about self-sabotaging, limiting beliefs, and the extinction theory. So if you don't know what we're talking about, stick around. Welcome to No More BullShift. I'm Peggy.
And I'm Marci.
We are two women who believe that life's trials aren't happening to us, they're happening for us.
And we're here to help you turn every why me into watch me.
Because shifting out of victim mode and into empowerment is what we do best.
So join us as we cut through the bullshift and help you see how strong you really are.
Hey, Marci.
Hey, Peggy.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
So good.
Good. Okay, we have a really fun episode today. And basically, we're going to talk about how to stop self-sabotaging.
Just that.
Just light. We're going like a light fluff.
You know, just to stop every thought you've ever had in your whole life. No big deal.
Exactly. So I want to start by explaining one of the things that will, like, when you are starting to progress into like a new pattern or habit that you want to create, you want it to stick. It could be anything. It could be eating healthy. It could be dating a better quality human. It could be saving money. It could be anything. Right before, like, it's like this, your progress. And then your nervous system is uncomfortable because you're changing so much.
Freaks out.
Yes. It's actually called an extinction burst. It's your body is trying to hold on so tightly to what's familiar to it that it is going to just basically throw a tantrum.
And it's scientific. This is your amygdala, which is that fight or flight in your body. It's the thing that back when we were cavemen or cave women that kept us safe. And it still wants to keep us safe. And so that amygdala gets involved and you get to where it's like your vagus. You can't even see the forest for the trees. And you didn't realize you're doing it. It's so subconscious. You don't even see the patterns.
And it's actually not even about like it wants to keep you safe, but it's actually not even about safety. It's about what's familiar because your body and your brain thinks familiar equals safe because you're still alive today.
Doing the things that you've been doing.
Right.
So it's been working. So
Yes.
It's familiar. And it's like, well, why wouldn't we do that? Because, an example is emotional eating. When we're sad, we crave cookies. We don't really know. We don't make the connection consciously. I'm sad, so I want cookies. What we say is, I want cookies. But our body says, I feel better when I eat the cookies. Even though in the long term, the cookies are actually going to create a whole new thing to be sad about. Or maybe it was why you were sad to begin with. Who knows? But your body goes, I feel better. My nervous system feels good when I eat the cookie, eat the cookie, eat the cookie. It doesn't necessarily feel so good when you eat the carrot. So it's like, well, I want the cookie over the carrot.
And they actually did a study on lab rats about this, where they had trained the rabbit or the lab rats to, when they push the button, a little food would come out. Push the button, a little food would come out. And the lab rats went crazy. They're just pushing it all the time and eating it and eating it and eating it. Then they started feeding them a different way, and they'd like put the food there, and they would no longer release food when they would push the button. And the lab rats kept pushing the button, and then they were pushing it harder and more frequently, trying to get it to come out until eventually they stopped pushing the button, realizing the food is only coming this new way now.
And I think what's interesting about that is because I didn't know about this study, and Marci and I were talking about it, and I was like, well, did they just not feed the little rats? Like,
they starved them.
Did they die?
And then they lost strength and they couldn't push the button.
I have a real problem with this study. And she said, no, there was food there for them. Like, the rats didn't die. They just didn't know there was food there for them because they were so busy pushing the button over here where they used to get the food that they just kept doing that pattern. But the food was there all along, but it was in the different corner. They walked by that food, but still went over here to get it, even though the better option was available to them because it was familiar.
Yes, they were so trained to push the button. And I think an example that comes to me about this that I've heard, we've all heard it, I'm sure, is somebody that dates a really bad guy that like talks down to them or is degrading or rude or whatever. Then they break up with that guy. And then they go after another guy that has the same characteristics. They're negative, they're controlling, they're demeaning, and they're going to it because it feels familiar. Even though they know it's a bad pattern, probably, they know they don't want that for some reason, their brain thinks that, oh, we are attracted to this.
Well, and to that point, if this is really subconscious work that's going on behind the scenes for you.
Yes.
It's built into that nervous system regulation, which, say what you will about the buzzword with nervous system regulation. It's real and it is driving your behaviors, so, but it is an excuse for your behaviors. But in this situation, you're like, well, if you don't want this guy who treats you this way, why do you keep dating guys that treat you this way? Because they don't start out that way. You don't realize your pattern of how you're selecting the guy, right? So they've all got commonalities that feel familiar in the beginning. So you go and you're out at the bar and you meet this guy and he's charismatic and he's funny and he makes you feel good. And you start to date him and he starts to say things like, oh, you're so dumb. And you're like, oh, that probably wasn't the nicest thing that he could ever have said to me. But look how funny he is. Look about how good I feel when I'm with him. And then he starts to say it more aggressively, like, you're such a fucking idiot. And now you're kind of like, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. This is feeling kind of like something I recognize. And you're still like, no, though. But like, he pays for me. He does all of these things for me. And that all feels good. And it starts to escalate until the thing that doesn't feel good overshadows the thing that did. And you realize, maybe I am dumb because I just did the same pattern all over again. And again, I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it until it was too late. And the warning signs were there. But your system was going, no, look, we're being loved. We're being taken care of. This guy's so funny. When he's out with my friends, he's like the life of the party and everybody tells me how lucky I am. And then all of a sudden the pattern repeats and you go, oh, dang it, I did it again. So you keep yourself stuck without even knowing you're doing it because it's the subconscious just running in the background.
So let's get to how do we, when we're in a pattern we want to change, we know that this extinction burst is going to come. Our nervous system's going to fight us. Old habits will try to really take hold of us. What are the steps to push through anyways and rise above it and basically make the new pattern, the new choice, the new habit that we want to keep really solidify?
So I think the first thing you have to do is get onto yourself.
Yes, awareness, totally.
The awareness. Like, how long did those little rats have to hit that thing before they were like, this actually isn't working.
Right.
Surely they're not going to leave me here starving. There's got to be another option. Oh, wait, silly me. There's food right over here in the corner. I'm going to go over there now and eat. So you've got to get onto yourself. So you can't get onto yourself if you don't take the time to get onto yourself, right? And if you don't start to look at, all right, what am I doing before the moment before I make this decision? What is running through my head? What are the thoughts that are coming to me? So if it's the cookie, okay, where are you in that moment? What are you doing? What had happened before the cookie? You know you're not hungry because you just ate. You know you don't want the calories because you don't want the calories, right? This isn't a special occasion. This is you on your couch watching the Netflix and you want a cookie and you're not hungry and you know it's not good for you. So why did you still make the choice to do that? What was driving that behavior? What were the thoughts? What happened during the day? What did you wake up in the middle of the night thinking about? What is bothering you? What is on your mind? What is making you an emotional eater in this moment? Oh, I'm an emotional eater. Oh, that's what's going on. So then how do you break that pattern? So what's a better choice in that moment? It's not that the emotion is wrong. The emotion is real. But how are you going to regulate that emotion and say, we can be safe another way? The cookie isn't the only way. What is a behavior that's better, that's for my highest good that I can choose to regulate rather than eat the cookie? But you've got to have the pause. You've got to have the awareness to be in that moment to see that.
And I also think before all that, you have to have awareness there's something in your life that you don't like the way it's going. Like maybe you never work out, or maybe you don't have a lot of friends, or maybe you are feeling lonely and want to meet someone special. Like, what is it in your life that needs a tweak, a change, and then like being aware of that and then kind of working backwards to create that? And it kind of starts with a small shift after you have that awareness.
It's a small shift. So in that cookie example, okay, I am feeling unseen. I was at work all day. Again, I got discounted in this meeting I had worked so hard on. And then this guy came in, basically presented the same idea. He's the hero. And I'm like going back to my cube. He's getting the promotion and I'm not. I am so sick of this happening over and over and over and over again. So you go home and you're frustrated and you start to numb out. You're sitting on your couch, you're watching Netflix. I should have those cookies. I've got cookies. I'm going to go have a cookie. And so then you go have the cookie. No, you don't. Because now you're aware. You're going, wait a minute. Because I used to do this and I know what goes through your head. What's going through your head as you are opening up the package of cookies is I probably shouldn't be doing this, but fuck it. I had a bad day. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to have this cookie and then I'm only going to have one cookie. And well, no, maybe I'll have two. Oh, it's been a bad day. I'm just going to have 5 cookies. I feel better. I feel better when I have the cookies. And before you know it, you're numbing out, right? But what's a better choice? Because now you're onto yourself and you're doing the work and you're going, I don't feel good about this. Even as I'm doing it, I know I shouldn't be doing it. I don't feel good about it. Stop. Okay, what is another thing I could try?
Yeah, and what do you know to be true?
Right. I know to be true, I had a bad day. Like I did, and I'm upset about it. But I also know there's probably some responsibility on me. I need to look at this. But right now in this moment, I don't feel good, and I don't want to look at it right now. I'm going to look at it when I'm clear-headed. That's my advice to you. In an emotional moment, you're going to make an emotional thought. You just are. Ride that wave. But until you get back to neutral, in that moment, would taking a bath better suit you?
Right.
Would taking a walk better suit you?
Yes.
Would calling a friend better suit you? Would journaling suit you better? What is one small decision that is different than the one you've always made that you can make, that you can create a new pattern in your head to go, oh, when I do that, I also feel safe. Actually, even feel better. You're not going to feel that way the first time. The first time you're going to do it and be proud of yourself for doing it. But you're still going to be tempted to eat the cookie because your brain hasn't yet, your body, your nervous system hasn't yet seen the proof.
Right.
Enough of it to overcome that conditioned, patterned, subconscious programming that's running behind the scenes. So now you've got to go, well, that worked then. I'm going to prove it could work again.
Yes. And you know already, because we're telling you about this extinction burst, when your body is having that freak out and really, really, really wanting that thing you're trying to get out of your life, then you're almost there. Keep going.
It's actually showing you you're on the right path.
Yes, absolutely. And that's awareness is part of it, in that this is how human brains are wired and work.
I mean, that catchphrase, well, at least you're aware of it. You know, like we say it all the time. Well, at least you know it. That's true. But that's not enough. That's just step one.
And you have to then, like, consistency is everything. Like, if you decide to like quit the cookies or go on a different, path with dating or whatever.
Yeah, let's talk about that dating.
Yes. Okay. So right away, I think you have to shift into like a different pattern. Like, so maybe you've only ever dated guys that are like 6 feet tall and you like a rougher motorcycle guy or something like that. I don't know. And if that's just been your path the whole time, maybe you challenge yourself to go on 3 dates this month with someone that's totally different. They have to be under 6 feet tall and they have to not be into motorcycles.
Yeah. Like here's the deal. If you consistently are dating Harley guys, which no shade to the Harley guy, right?
Yeah, they're
no
great.
shade.
There's so many great ones.
Yeah. But if you are consistently dating the Harley guy and you're consistently getting a type of guy that for you is not working out, why do you keep going to Harley bars, girl? You are not going to find your Prince Charming, the one who's going to treat you the way you want to be treated at the same place you've been going and meeting the guys that aren't the Prince Charmings. That's not where they hang out.
Well, and it's also kind of just that classic, if you're doing the same experiment over and over again and expecting a different result, that's like the definition of insanity, right? We have to change some variables in the experiment to get a new result.
And I think what keeps us going back to the Harley bar or the cookies is that we believe the problem is us. We believe if I change myself, I'll get a different result in the same circumstance. This time I only will eat 2 cookies and not 5. This time I will find the unicorn inside the Harley bar because the issue is me. I have no willpower. I have no ability to find the right guy in the same environment because surely he exists. Well, maybe or maybe not.
Right. He might, but you also might just switch it up just to do it. And a couple other things we talked about when we were picking this topic. Other ways to be onto yourself is like knowing your personality, knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses. And we will link to a couple Enneagram quizzes. But that's just a little, not super surface, but not super depth personality quiz. And that will kind of show you your personality and what you like and don't like overall. And I think that's a great way to like initially be onto yourself to start creating shifts.
Yeah, it's like another language, right? You'll hear Marci say all of the time in the Gretchen Rubin, well, I'm a rebel, so I do this. I'm a rebel, so I do this. And, I say, because I'm an astrologer, well, I'm a double Pisces Virgo, so that's why I'm like this. That's why I do this. But whether you buy into it or not, you can see the patterns like, oh, that's why I'm so detail oriented, even though I'm very dreamy. I have this. So I'm going to lean into that. I know this about me. I know that sometimes I can dream too big and get caught up in it. But when I settle that down and I tap into this Virgo side of myself, I can do anything because I have that ability to do anything. So when you can look at yourself through a personality profile, I mean, the military does Myers-Briggs. I did it when I worked for the Limited brand. They did it for us. So, ENFJ,
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a really good one. And you really go in. And there were so many insights that I got from doing that did shift how I showed up in the world. It shifted how I show up with other people in the world because I realized that the way they saw me was different than how I thought they saw me.
Oh, interesting.
And so I was like, oh, okay, well, if I'm doing that, then I need to soften the way I use my voice. I don't need to be inauthentic to myself. I still have the same message, but the way I deliver it probably needs to soften a little bit because of how it makes the other feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's interesting. Yeah, I think Myers-Briggs is a great one too. And part of like figuring out your personality, strength, and weakness is like allowing yourself to be authentic in your own space and showing up your truest, best self and knowing you don't need to change to try to fit in whatever like box you're trying to fit into. Like the person that eats all these cookies, maybe you're just meant to be a person that doesn't have sugar. Maybe that's it. That's maybe a better fit for you.
Yeah, maybe you just don't keep cookies in your house.
Yeah, or you
Maybe
keep them in
that's
the
the
basement, the scary basement.
Well, I'm telling you, from a cookie lover, I will scale a scary basement for a cookie. There is no cookie that can be safe in my house. But what I am saying is that, going back to that, you think it's you. Well, if we were all perfect, we wouldn't even be having a podcast like this podcast.
Right.
Yes, it's you. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
Work with you. So if you know that about yourself, don't try to change you. Change the circumstances so that isn't constantly tempted.
Right.
So if I know I don't have willpower around cookies, that's not a moral failing on my part.
That's right.
That does not make me less than a person. Okay? It doesn't. Stop judging me. But what I am saying is I am also not going to make the fresh batch of cookies. I am not going to go buy the beautiful Trader Joe's yummy seasonal cookies and keep them in the house. I'm not going to put myself in circumstances where I could be tempted to have to not have willpower.
And that, which would lead to self-sabotaging.
Which is self-sabotaging. You are setting yourself up to repeat patterns, and your nervous system is cheering you right on. Do it, girl. Do it. until you teach it another way, until you show it. And that doesn't have to be our reality. Like,
Right.
actually, I do have willpower. Actually, cookies. Actually, all of you judging me for eating the cookies, listen to me. You know how much willpower it takes for me to go to Trader Joe's every Sunday and buy my groceries and not get any boxes of those delicious cookies? So I do have willpower, right? I'm proving to my nervous system we can do this.
Right.
Because we said no when we could have said yes and convinced ourselves, well, we'll just eat two.
Now, what if it's somebody that wants to create a habit of like going to the gym 5 days a week in the morning when they wake up and they don't want to self-sabotage?
Okay, well, the first thing, I think anytime you have a new goal like that's a goal. I want to start going to the gym. That's great. That's great. Now listen, girl. Listen, or guy. I mean, Cam. If you, Cam is our biggest fan. If you are saying, I want to start going to the gym, I'm going to go every single day to the gym. That's who I am now. I'm the kind of person who goes to the gym every day. Okay. Liar, liar, pants on fire. And you know it. You knew it when you said it. Because you can't go from what you've never done to going all in at 100%. A small change, right? I'm going to go to the gym 1 day a week, 2 days a week. I'm not going to say I go on Monday and Wednesday, because what if I don't go on Monday or Wednesday? I'm going to leave it open-ended, but I am going to do this thing. Make it realistic. And don't try to bite off more than you can chew in the beginning. Small changes are the way to go. And maybe it's not even the gym. Maybe the gym is maybe you've gone too far. Maybe it's, I'm going to put on my shoes and take a walk today. Once I get good at taking a walk, I'm going to maybe walk a little further. Oh, now I'm starting to feel strong. Oh, look at me go. Look what I can do. Okay, maybe now I'll try going to the gym.
So I have to disagree with you on this.
I knew you were going to, because Marci and I have very different personalities and mindsets.
I think if you want to go to the gym 5 days a week, do it. You might need an accountability person. Like maybe it's one of your friends that you're like, if I don't text you a picture of me at the gym every day, I'm going to give you $100 every single day. Don't do it. Or if I and make it easy, like lay your outfit out. Like have gas in your car every time. Have,
I agree
have
with
your
that. I do agree
playlist
here.
ready to go. Like you can do it. Now, there are going to be days, especially with this, extinction burst. Your body's going to be like, oh my gosh, it's so cold outside. Oh my gosh, I just want to lay in bed. Oh my gosh, we have this big meeting. Nope. You just have to rise above it, knowing that eventually your identity will catch up with your actions and you'll just be the person that goes to the gym every day because it's just what you do.
So here's what I want to say to this disagreement, because we will agree to disagree on this one.
For sure.
Because everybody works differently. Everybody. I didn't work that way. It did not work for me. I'm not in the whatever the great Gretchen Rubin thing is. I forget what I am, but I'm not a rebel.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you, I think I must have answered those questions wrong, because here's where my rebellious streak is. Oh, I have to go to the gym every day? Well, F you, I'm not going to go, even though I'm F-ing to myself.
Mm.
I'm rebelling against my own system because I don't like constraints. But here's my point. This is a perfect example of why knowing yourself,
yes,
is how you will set yourself up for success. Because
Yeah.
I had personality tests that I looked at specifically around my issue with weight when I was 300 something pounds, I would have saved myself a lot of heartache.
Interesting.
Because I would have known that rather than fitting into Marci's model of how to do it, I would have said, you have permission, Peggy, to do this way. And that ultimately is how I ended up losing the weight, is I let myself off the hook for not doing it the way I should do it.
Mm.
And I know now that's how I work. Marci's very different. Marci has a very strong personality where she is, give me a challenge and I am there. Give me something to prove to myself and I can do it. And you might be that person, but know that about yourself. Set yourself up for success because you understand how you work.
Right. And not one is not greater than the other. Both are valuable. And the key, I think, is to know and play to your mind. Like your caveman brain, you got to come at it from the right angle that you'll have success.
Because here's the thing. If you set yourself up and you say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week, and you don't, all you've told your nervous system is this doesn't work, because now we're kind of in a worse place than we were before we even started, because now you're in the shame spiral around this thing. Like, we've got enough shame spiraling we're doing. Now we're adding this thing on top of it. So now we're in even worse shape. Let's just go get those cookies. So you want to make sure that no matter what happens, even if you like choose my way, which is sort of like the intuitive way of following and listening to your body, even if you do it, God bless you, even if you do it again, even if you do it that way and you don't do it, okay, it's all right. That one didn't work. Maybe I did need a different goal to start. Maybe that was too big of a goal for me to set in this situation. What's a different way I can still make a positive change instead of eating the cookie or doing the thing that will work? Because that one didn't, but it doesn't mean that there isn't something that will.
Right.
Evaluate
Yeah,
it.
don't layer guilt, shame on top
No.
of it. That will actually slow down your progress.
Or set you back even.
Yes.
Yeah, it could even set you back. We all have been there, right? So, yeah, but I think understanding how you work and then playing to those strengths is really, really a key here.
Yes, and just knowing if you're in your pattern, you're on your way to the right direction, and your mind is just playing tricks on you and trying to pull you back to the old patterned way of being, just remember you're on the right path and just keep going.
And I talk to mine. So I'll say,
Did you name it?
I haven't, but I actually think we should name it.
Name what? The caveman brain?
Name that extinction burst, because really it's your nervous system. So let's give your nervous system a name, and let's call it, or your amygdala, a name, and be like, Amy, listen, girl, I see what you're trying to do here, and I appreciate it. You're trying to keep me safe. You're protecting me. You're trying to get things regulated, because we are not right now. And I understand. I'm going to try a different way. I'm going to sort of let myself lead here, but Amy, you're coming with. Don't worry, I'm not leaving you behind. You can still protect me, but you're going to be right over here in the passenger seat. Can you just let me drive here? Can you just, Amy, give me a chance to try it a different way? I know you don't believe that if I go in this direction, we're going the right way, because you want to go the way we've always gone to get to the place that we want to go. But just give me a chance here. Just give me a chance. And then when you make a wrong turn and Amy's like, see, if I were driving, this wouldn't have happened. I told you. You just go, well, Amy, there's 5 ways to get there. I made one wrong turn. Let me take a different one. Okay? Just settle down there, sister.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. I think it's a good reminder if you can tell your brain there's a lot of paths.
Don't become schizophrenic or create a new problem, right? We're not promoting that. But yeah, calm it down. Be honest. That's the awareness.
That's the pause.
Yeah, that's the pause. The awareness is okay, oh, I appreciate you, but there's another way. We're going to find it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's good. Okay. I feel like the obvious homework is to go find one personality quiz online and take it.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's and report back.
One.
Yes. We will put links to several different types in the
show notes.
In the show notes.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you know someone who might be in this situation, even if you don't see this in yourself, please share this with them. We are just trying to help women live their best lives over here.
Yeah, I love that. Totally. All right. You got this.
You so got this. All right. That's our shift for today.
Go live, laugh, and do one bold thing before the next episode drops.
Follow us at No More BullShift and keep the conversation going.
Because if you can't laugh about it,
you probably still need to shift it.